Long before the Exorcist movie popularized them, exorcisms were used by those of religious backgrounds to deal with crazy people. Of course, 200 plus years ago, churches didn't call these people crazy, they called them possessed. Today, with the onset of Western medicine and practices like psychology and psychiatry, when a person exhibits qualities like irrationality, emotional instability, uncharacteristic behaviors, unfounded aggression, and hallucinations, we call them mentally unstable or insane, and we have a whole variety of methods for treating these problems. Before the onset of Western medicine, however, these mentally unstable people were interpreted as being possessed by a demonic entity, by a demon, and so religious institutions used their religious worldviews and understandings to address those demons. They performed exorcisms, where the demons were exorcised out of the person, in some cases leading to success stories where the cured individual no longer exhibited the symptoms of possession, which we would call insanity, like emotional instability, depression, anxiety, paranoia, schizophrenia, etc. But the days of exorcisms are long gone, and although they are still performed today, they are much less prevalent and are mostly regarded as unfounded superstition by the scientific community. Interestingly, even if exorcisms are based on unfounded superstition, it is difficult to deny that they were, in many cases, highly effective in curing people from their mental illnesses. In fact, to this day, exorcists are still performing exorcisms to cure mental illnesses. According to one article by The Guardian, written by David Batty, titled Exorcism, Abuse or Cure, the idea that the medical profession would consider this medieval religious practice, known as exorcisms, as a treatment might seem far-fetched, but across the UK, Anglican and Catholic clergy continue to perform the ritual, often with the sanction of psychiatrists. Additionally, psychiatrist M. Scott Peck performed extensive research on exorcisms and claimed to have conducted 2 exorcisms himself. He concluded that the Christian concept of possession was a genuine phenomenon. Now, I'm not here to argue the validity of possessions and demons. I personally don't think they're valid. When someone thinks there is a possession or a demon, that is just them superimposing their pre-bias, their worldview onto a situation. I don't think actual demons are the causes of possession, but I do think there is a great deal of credibility to the concept of inner demons. Have you ever heard the term inner demons? It's what we call those pent-up emotions, memories, and internal problems we all face in life, like that insecurity that ruins your social life, or that fear that messes up your performance at work, or those anxieties that leave you panicked and out of breath when you think about them. We all have inner demons. They are the negative emotions and energies we keep inside of us that can really bog us down and harm us. There's nothing supernatural or superstitious about inner demons. The term, of course, is a figure of speech. But what if the source and cause of all mental illnesses was inner demons? What if, when a person suffers from clinical depression or anxiety or schizophrenia, or any other of the variety of mental health disorders, what if they are just suffering from a more intense version of inner demons? Again, I don't mean anything superstitious here when I use the term inner demons. I'm simply referring to the internal emotions and energies within the human body and mind that can create a significant amount of tension in the form of depression and anxiety, which, if ignored and allowed to worsen, can lead to more severe conditions like clinical depression, general anxiety disorder, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and more. Of course, it's important to keep in mind that mainstream scientific and medical institutions have not yet discovered the fundamental cause and origins of mental illness. Although researchers can observe something like a chemical imbalance in the brain, they still have not determined what causes that chemical imbalance. The chemical imbalance is only a symptom of the problem, not the cause of it. The source, the origin, the cause of mental illness is still a mystery. You can learn more about this in my separate video on clinical depression. Just click right here on the screen. Now, it has long been known within scientific and medical circles that repressed memories and unaddressed life problems can fester inside of us if we don't handle them, and can manifest in the form of depression, anxiety, and in more extreme cases, clinical mental illnesses. The impact that lifestyle choices, outlook, worldview, diet, exercise, level of optimism, and other controllable factors can have in creating mental illnesses is well established. However, in a time where most consumers want the easy way to solve their problems, many Americans choose the quick and simple magic pill route, where they can take a prescription pill which covers up the symptoms of their mental illness, often by offsetting the chemical imbalance by regulating serotonin production, which is essentially what occurs with selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs. Remember, SSRIs and all prescription medications for mental illnesses are not cures. They're only treatments. That's really all they are. They are treatments. And once the treatment has ended and the true cause of the mental illness is still not addressed, then the mental illness will persist without the medication. But wait a minute. Weren't those old, silly exorcism things capable of curing mental illnesses? Well, as much as I hate to admit it, yes, exorcisms have been documented to cure mental illnesses. But wait, like I said before, I don't believe in demons or possessions. So what really is going on during an exorcism that leads to cures in some cases? I don't think there are actual demons, some kind of separate evil entities infecting a person's soul. Instead, I think the cause of these so-called possessions is actually inner demons. The problem is that when we let inner demons go unchecked for too long, and we don't take action to properly handle them, they can fester and stagnate and worsen over time, eventually becoming so bad that they cause us to become irrational, unstable, psychotic, emotionally variant, and even hallucinatory. So the question is, what if most, or all, mental illnesses are caused by inner demons, by the inner pent-up emotions and negativity that we haven't addressed, and begin to stagnate and worsen over time, eventually becoming the intense mental illnesses we know today? If an exorcism can cure a person's depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and even schizophrenia, then maybe there's some validity here. I'm not saying that there are actual demons or possessions occurring, but maybe the process of an exorcism itself, putting aside all the religious connotations, have some actual scientific empirical benefit. At the core, an exorcism is a process of exorcising the inner negative emotions out of a person. This means provoking the inner demons out of them, causing reactions and the expression of the inner demons. Interestingly, the opposite of depression is expression. Famous YouTuber, philosopher, and fitness trainer Elliott Hulse has long promoted a holistic cure for depression. I interviewed him for We Are Change and got his opinion on what causes depression. You can click right here to see my full interview with Elliott, but in essence, he said that he's helped cure and prevent depression in countless of his clients simply by having them do the opposite of depression, which is expression, to move the body, shake, vibrate, breathe, go for walks, exercise, etc. In doing this, a person is essentially exorcising their inner demons, almost like performing a mild version of an exorcism on themselves, getting themselves to move around erratically, even to scream randomly, in order to stimulate and release the pent-up internal emotions and energies, which we often call inner demons, which exorcists call demons. Interestingly, Elliott Hulse has essentially performed what can be equated to an exorcism on himself, but he doesn't call them exorcism. He calls this process bioenergetic catharsis. I mean, if you watch the video he's posted of bioenergetic catharsis, it basically looks like he's going through an exorcism. Elliott says that the reason it is crucial for some people to take part in bioenergetic catharsis is that for many of us, we walk around most of our lives with so much pent-up inner emotions, repressed feelings, suppressed desires, and more. These pent-up inner emotions, if not expressed, can turn into depression or even anxiety and other conditions we typically refer to as mental illnesses. Thus, by taking part in bioenergetic catharsis, we are literally exorcising the inner demons out of us, allowing for clarity and fluidity within us that clears our minds and emotional thought patterns. It seems there is more than one way to deal with depression, anxiety, and many common mental problems and illnesses. Today, inner demons are still handled by some religious people through the use of exorcisms. Strangely enough, they have cured many people of their mental illnesses. Elliott Hulse uses bioenergetic catharsis, which, at least on the surface, looks pretty similar to an exorcism. And still, modern medicine uses prescription drugs to treat, not cure, these same problems. To conclude this, I don't think you need an exorcist to perform an exorcism on you in order to be healed. The fact is, I'm convinced that most, if not all, mental illnesses are the result of inner demons. And because they are inner demons, you don't need an exorcist or some outside force to cure you. Through a process of bioenergetic catharsis, or really any form of expression or coping that allows you to finally address and take care of all those pent-up inner negative emotions and energies, I'm convinced one can be cured of even the most neurotic, debilitating mental illnesses. Again, there are countless documented cases of exorcisms curing a variety of mental illnesses. Truth is certainly stranger than fiction, but only if we assume life is rational in the first place. But of course, the idea that the universe is a rational place is a belief on its own. Mainstream science will tell you we live in a world of 13 dimensions, with infinite universes and infinite possibilities. The fact is, reality is fundamentally baffling and beyond our wildest understandings. For that reason, although I don't believe in demons or exorcisms and possessions, I do know that current scientific conclusions about reality are based on nothing more than assumptions and beliefs. Once you break free from the prison of assuming we've got the whole universe figured out, then you are finally free to open your mind to what's possible, and in turn start thinking for yourself to discover how the world actually works.